Welcome to my channel and to this video where I show you how to build one of these beautiful freestyle fins. This project is a little bit different than my other project because first of all, this time I'm not building boards, and secondly, this is a little bit more than just a thing that I build in my basement and try and test myself and I like it or I like it a little bit less. This fin actually made quite a career because it was used by successful riders, even one PWA rider, and with this fin these riders managed to win national freestyle titles. So yeah, it's quite an interesting project, or was. If you want to hear the whole story, then click the video in the description. I made a special video about this, and this video right here is just about how I built one of these. Let's jump right into it. Have fun. First of all, and very importantly, I make sure that the mold is completely clean. I even clean the thread, I polish it, and then I use release wax to make the surface even smoother, and PVA release varnish. Both of them you can get at HP Textiles. I think from every country, or every European country at least. Then I start cutting the fibers. I will describe later which fibers I use exactly. This is core layer fleece, also available at HP Textiles, like every material I use in this video. By the way, this video is just about how I make the fin when I already have the mold. If you want to have a video about how I make molds, then comment and maybe I will do that one day. And I do this to prevent the fiber from doing this when I move it. And this is how I position my logo. It's just a sticker that you can design and order in a web shop. And I need to be really careful that I don't hurt the fibers when I rip off the cover sticker. Okay, into this resin I put some cotton pieces, and they make the resin less fragile. Micro balloons, they make the volume bigger but not the weight, just a very little bit. And some white color to make the white more beautiful. And this is a little bit too liquid, so I put in some more micro balloons. And this is a perfect consistency. Now I fill the head with this, and the challenge here is to go in all the corners and don't have any air bubbles. And I show you how I'm quite successful with that. I use let's call it a kind of pumping technique. With that I can distribute the resin and make sure there's no air bubbles up beneath it. Okay, this is pretty much hardened right now. Whoa. This one not. What's going on? But it's fine, I will do that later. And first I make some space here for the screw. And then I put a lot of resin here in the surface area of the fin. This is the most important layer because it's the only layer you will see later on. So make sure the resin is really everywhere and the air bubbles have time to leave to the top. So I distribute it and then I let it set for a minute or so. And I lost my tool to do that, so now I use this. And I also want to fill up this area with clear resin. This area. I didn't fill it up with a white resin to the very edge, because then I'm afraid that white resin gets pressed into the surface area of the fin. And this is not a big deal actually for the construction, but for the look of the fin. So I fill this up. Make sure there's no air left. This is my outer layer, the side with the logo. I want the logo parallel to this line. Okay, this looks quite good. And this is the only layer that overlaps over the form. And this is the best solution for a good connection between the two halves of the fin. And I need to press this on really firmly, but if I do like this on this layer, then I might destroy the layer. So I also put the first layer of my other carbon pieces. Okay, feels good, and now I can put on a lot of pressure here. And it's best to put the resin first and then the carbon, so the resin gets pressed through the carbon and pushes out the air. If I put the carbon first and then the resin, then maybe air gets caught beneath the resin, between the carbon. And I take a lot of time and patience to press out the air here. And I got a piece of tape left here on my piece of carbon, but that's no problem. And in the corners I gotta use my fingers. So to make it clear, such a piece of tape in a lamination would be a problem usually, but stability wise such a small fin is no problem at all, so it's fine here. I've made the experience that it's smart to put some more pieces of carbon in the tip of the fin, because this is where it gets damaged first. And as I said, stability and also flex is not a really big issue in such a small fin. It's more an issue in the really big race fin. But I have my concept here about flex and stability, which works quite good. And if you want to experiment with that, then yeah, mind the directions of the fibers and the amount of fibers you put. I will not go in detail to explain my concept here, but because I think it's boring. But I have about 500 grams per square meter fiber on every side of the fin, and in the middle I have this and this. The fin is a bit flex, which is convenient for riding, but it's still quite durable and it doesn't have too much flex. Now I do some more reinforcements in the critical areas. Okay, and this stuff is really great to fill up any areas where there's not enough fiber. You need to lay it very carefully. And it's not only practical, it's also necessary, because you don't want to build the whole fin out of carbon. It will be like a fucking block without any flex. I mean, there are fins like that, especially freestyle fins. But it's always nice to be able to control the flex. Okay, and actually now when I press here, there should be resin coming out of this stuff, and it doesn't, so I need to make some more resin. And now the screw. And now I fill up the areas where there's maybe not enough resin. The best thing would be to use exactly the volume of resin that this fin has, but that's pretty much impossible. So I aim to use a little bit more, because not using enough is really bad, because then you have air in the fin. Using a little bit too much is fine, because then it gets pressed out at the sides. Okay, now I put these parts together. Great. And I start pressing at the tip to not allow any resin to float this way into the surface of the fin. I don't want any white resin in the surface. And this is a good result because there's resin coming out, but it's not too much and it comes out very evenly. So not a lot much more here than here, for example. If you don't use the oven to speed this up, then give it 2 days to harden. Ooh, sexy maxi. Ah. Ooh, that's yes. Ooh. Oh no, I have a small mistake here. Yeah, okay, but it's fine. Not perfect, but it's pretty good. Okay, now I get rid of this stuff, get the screw out and finish the fin. And this, we finish it. Okay, that's the finished fin. And there's a lot to say about the shape details. And I do this in the other video that I linked in the description below. And also I tell a lot about the story, how I developed it. The concept even was stolen at some point, so if you're interested in that, feel free to click that, or to follow my channel, activate the bell, blah blah blah, the usual stuff. I'm happy about feedback, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.